Hello, my dear students of class 11. I'll be doing today lesson number 1, A Living God by Lafayette Hearn from your book Prism. So, this story is about a Japanese farmer who was old, rich, and quite respectable in his vicinity. How he became a living god from his act of selfishness and acting wisely. This is a story all about this, how he got so much respect from his own people that they constructed a temple for him while he was living. So that is why this title is there, A Living God. Let's go ahead and dive deep into it. From immemorial time, the shores of Japan have been swept at irregular intervals of centuries by enormous tidal waves. Tidal waves caused by earthquakes or by submarine volcanic action. So, what is it that Japan is quite known for the disaster, the natural disaster which it experiences because of its geographical location. So, it is like it experiences volcanoes and earthquakes at irregular intervals, but it's not a very unknown phenomena for them. All right. The awful sudden risings of the sea are called by the Japanese tsunami. So tsunamis are the huge wave which occurs and it engulfs cities. It engulfs valleys. So the last one occurred on the evening of June 17, 1896 when a wave nearly 200 miles long struck the northeastern provinces of Miyagi, Iwate and Omori, wrecking scores of towns and villages, ruining whole districts and destroying nearly 30,000 human lives. So the destruction is of this amount. So this destruction is huge. So it's talking that that it happened once in June 17. It happened on June 17, 1896. The story of Hamaguchi-go is the story of a like calamity which happened long before the era of Meiji. So Meiji's era is it was from 1868 to 1912. It happened between 1868 and 1912. And this era of Meiji is known for what do you call that? Industrialization, modernization. So this particular story is about which happened before, long before the era of Meiji. Okay, on another part of the Japanese coast. So what date I told you, I'll write between this his era was between 1812 to 1968. He was an old man at the time of the occurrence that made him famous. He was the most influential resident of the village to which he belonged. He had been for many years its Murosa or headman. Now see, many terms are used for Hamaguchi-go. This one is this Murosa, that is the headman. All right, so this means headman. And he was not less liked than respected. That it was he was both liked and respected. The people usually called him Ojisan, which means grandfather. So he was termed as Ojisan because he was quite old. It means grandfather, and he was termed so because people respected him out of his old age. But being the richest member of the community, he was sometimes officially referred to as Choja. So he was the richest because of the wealth. Understood? He was called Choja. So you can remember these terms which he was known by these different terms, and you should know why, which term is associated with what quality of him, because they can be asked in 1 mark question. He used to advise the smaller farmers about their interest, to arbitrate their disputes. Now this is how he used to help the various help the villagers, right? He used to advise the smaller farmers about their interests. So he was actually a person who was helping everybody in sorting out all sorts of problems. So advising small farmers about their interest. That is, he must be guiding them what crop to sow, how to sow, how to utilize their land in the best of their use, to arbitrate the dispute. Now they used to go for mediation. Arbitration is mediation, when you settle dispute between the two parties. So he being the, we have some old person in our locality also whom we respect so much, so that we go on and discuss our personal issues also and try to sort them out. So he was the person. These days it is not that common, but when we were small, it was like that. So he was the person who used to mediate between two parties solving their personal issues or any other disputes, to advance them money at need. So he used to become a money lender also for them. When somebody is requiring any financial help, he was the one to lend them out money and to dispose of their rice for them on the best terms possible. He was the one who used to help them to sell their finished product, the crops, at the best possible price. So he was indeed quite helpful, and that is why, being rich, besides being rich, he was so much helpful that people went to him to have the solution of their problem. Hamagachi's big thatched farmhouse stood at the verge of the small plateau overlooking a bay. So his big thatched farmhouse stood at the verge of a small plateau overlooking a bay. Now, what is a bay? Let me show you what is a bay. See, this is a bay. This particular, this particular water body, it's a part of a sea or an ocean, and it has formed a curve kind of thing, and it is surrounded by land here. So this is bay. This is the bay. And Hamagachi is out. If we consider this as that Japanese plateau on which he was living, so we can consider this that he was living somewhere on the top here in his thatched farmhouse. All right. And so you can well imagine that where he was staying, just have a wild guess that he was staying here on the top of the plateau, and his house was overlooking a bay. The plateau, mostly devoted to the rice culture, was hemmed in on three sides by thickly wooded summits. I've shown you the picture of bay. So if you see that this particular, let's say this is a bay, understood, is hemmed. The plateau mostly devoted to rice culture. If I say that the plateau mostly devoted to rice culture was hemmed in on three sides by thickly wooded summit. Okay. And if I'm speaking about these lines, let's say it's a plateau here. Fine. And this plateau which is having lot of rice cultivation. Okay. This is rice cultivation, all rice. And on its edges there are lot of trees. So this is hemmed, that is on its border there are trees, thick growth of trees. From its outer verge, the land sloped down in a huge green concavity. Concavity is when you surround something. So this, as if it is scooped out to the edge of the water, and the whole of the slope, some 3/4 of a mile long, was so terraced as to look, when viewed from the open sky, like an enormous flight of green steps divided in the center by a narrow wide zigzag, a streak of mountain road. Now look here, I'll show you a picture of a farmhouse. Suppose this is Hamagachi's house. Okay, where was it located? On a hilltop, where the farmhouse was located on this kind of a hilltop here, somewhere here, you can say. See, suppose this is also farmhouse, no? If we consider this. See, this is, suppose, Hamagachi's farmhouse, and it is located here, and there is lot of flights of steps, and these steps are coming down to that bay portion which I've shown you. Understood? Can you get an imagination of his house? And there are flights which are going down. So and there is a narrow passage also. You can see that if you find, there's a narrow passage from here. You can say there's a narrow passage which takes you to the bay. All right. White zigzag, a streak of mountain road, 90 thatched dwellings, and a Shinto temple. So 90 thatched dwellings, these are the houses of the 400 farmers, and a Shinto temple composing the village proper stood along the curve of the bay, and other houses climbed straggling up the slope. Straggling means like, little walking slowly, or you can say at distance, these houses were made up the slope for some distance on either side of the narrow road leading to Choja's home. Suppose this is a road, and here these are the steps, the step farming or the terrace farming, and few houses are made like this on this road, on this side of road, and few are made on this side of road. Got it? All right. If I show you the picture of this Shinto temple, okay, you can see this Shinto temple is there. I'll show you the picture. This is a Shinto temple. Japanese worship here, and it is associated with Buddhism. All right. Now, one autumn evening, this is the description of the village or the house of the villagers, of the valleys, of the rice cultivation, and of Hamaguchi's house. Now comes the part of the story that which led him to become a living god for his villagers. One autumn evening, Hamaguchi Gohei was looking down from the balcony of his house at some preparations for a merrymaking in the village below. Now, that time, what happened? The people, the villagers, they were into the merrymaking, into the celebration. Why? There had been a very fine rice crops, and the peasants were going to celebrate their harvest by a dance in the court of Ujigami. So this is, the villagers, they had really had a good harvest that time, and they were into the celebration of that good harvest. So they were into some dancing, merrymaking, celebration. So they were in the court of Ujigami. The old man could see the festival banners, Nobori, fluttering above the roofs of the solitary street. The strings of papers, lanterns festooned between the bamboo poles. Festoon. There are bamboo poles, and there's a string between the two bamboo poles, and on that some paper, you can say not streamers or some kind of paper decorations, lanterns, they're all hung up. All right. The decorations of the shrine and the brightly colored gathering of the young people. So you can see that people here are into a lot of celebration, and there is a lot of joy, and it's quite merrymaking sort of thing here. He had nobody with him that evening but his little grandson, a lad of 10. The rest of the household having gone early to the village, he would have accompanied them had he not been feeling less strong than usual. So everyone from his house also have gone to join the celebration, but he couldn't go with them to celebrate. Why? Because he was not feeling well that day. So he and his 10-year-old grandson decided to stay back. So only these two people were in that house that day. The day had been oppressive. What do you mean by oppressive? Oppressive means little heavy. जब आपको अच्छा नहीं लगता है, आपको थोड़ा लगता है कि कुछ heaviness है. And in spite of a rising breeze, there was still in the air that sort of heavy heat which, according to the experience of the Japanese peasant, at certain seasons precedes an earthquake. Now from here itself, there was a sense that something, there's some natural calamity is about to, happen. So यही से सब ऐसा लगने लगा था उसको कि कुछ गड़बड़ है, कुछ something is not like usual. Okay, what was happening? There was, now in spite of rising breeze, हवा चल रही थी, but what was happening? There was still in the air that sort of heavy heat which according, एक एक भारीपन था, एक थोड़ा गर्म भी था, जबकि इट वाज अ ब्रीजी, ब्रीज चल रही थी, पर इट वाज लिटिल लाइक, जब एकदम घुटन जैसा होने लगता है ना ब्रीज के होते हुए भी, थोड़ा गर्म और वो अलग सा जो वेदर होता है वो था. So which according to the experience of the Japanese peasant at certain seasons precedes an earthquake. So it was, because of these farmers, they can predict, or the older people, they have little more, little, not little, they have much more experience than us. So they can precede rain or weather disturbances because of their experience. So similarly, he could feel that something is unusual, something is like it's not good, in fact. And presently, an earthquake came. It was not strong enough to frighten anybody. But Hamaguchi, who had felt hundreds of shocks in his time, thought it was queer, a long, slow, spongy motion. So, अब earthquake आया, ठीक है? Earthquake आया and there were tremors, थोड़े shocks भी थे. People who were, merry making, उन लोगों ने उसको ignore किया. क्यों? क्योंकि वहाँ पे यूजुअल होगा, और दे वर सो बिजी इन मैरी मेकिंग कि वो छोटे मोटे जो झटके आ रहे थे तो दे इग्नोर्ड. बट हामागुची गोए who was quite old and he must have experienced lot of earthquakes in his lifetime, so he thought that these tremors are little different. They are not the usual small tremors which people of Japan are used to. This is something unusual. So how he felt that these shocks were queer. Queer means strange. A long, slow, spongy. Long means थोड़ा सा लंबा टाइम के लिए थे. स्लो, धीरे धीरे आ रहे थे. स्पॉन्जी, स्पॉन्जी, दे वर एब्जॉर्बिंग द एटमॉस्फेयर. समझ रहे हो? थोड़ा सा एब्जॉर्बिंग था. Probably it was but the after tremors of some immense seismic action very far away. So क्या होता है कि जब earthquake का जो एपिसेंटर होता है वहां तो डिस्ट्रक्शन होता ही होता है, बहुत ज्यादा होता है. जब अगर हैवी हो earthquake का स्ट्रेंथ इम्पैक्ट जिसको बोलते हैं, आपका जो रेक्टर स्केल होता है उस पर अगर बहुत हाई होता है तो इट कॉजेज लॉट ऑफ डिस्ट्रक्शन. तो बट उसके जो इफेक्ट्स हैं इट गोज फार बियॉन्ड दैट एपिसेंटर. Because I have also experienced, it was in the year I think 2001, I was taking my tuition class. It was 26 January. और छुट्टी फ्लैग होइस्टिंग के बाद मैंने बोल दिया था बच्चों को कि जस्ट कम स्ट्रेट, तो 8:30 पे दे केम टू माय प्लेस. तो आई वॉज टेकिंग माई क्लास और धीरे धीरे ऐसे चेयर, मुझे लगा चेयर इज लाइक, एक वेकेंट चेयर थी तो वो हल्का सा ऐसे लगा हिली, तो मुझे लगा कि आई एम फीलिंग डिजी बिकॉज मुझे थोड़ा सा स्पॉन्डिलाइटिस का हो रहा था इफेक्ट. तो आई थॉट कि मुझे ही चक्कर वक्कर आ रहा है बिकॉज माइट बी आई नॉट स्लेप्ट प्रॉपरली. बट आफ्टर दैट टाइम आई students also said ma'am something is happening. I thought yeah, but it stopped. Then the next day we heard that news that it was a massive destruction. In the evening itself it was in the news, but the newspaper was telling a horrifying story the next day. So anyways, coming back to the lesson, probably it was but the after tremors of some immense seismic action very far away, the house crackled and rocked gently several times. Rocked means shook. It shook gently several times, then all became still again. Now होता है ऐसा, क्योंकि क्या होता है कि आफ्टर ट्रेमर्स जो होते हैं, कहीं दूर अर्थक्वेक होता है तो थोड़ी देर बाद वो सब स्टिल हो जाता है, एवरीथिंग बिकम्स नॉर्मल अगेन, सो पीपल get back to their usual activities. When I was taking tuition, the epicenter was Bhuj in Gujarat. Okay. As the quaking ceased, Hamaguchi's keen old eyes were anxiously turned towards the village. It often happens that the attention of a person gazing fixedly at a particular spot or object is suddenly diverted by the sense of something not knowingly seen at all. see what is happening. As the quaking seized Hamaguchi's keen old eyes were anxiously turned toward the village. Now, because Hamaguchi was thinking that this is not the usual tremors, और उनको वेदर भी कुछ डिफरेंट लग रहा था, एयर भी डिफरेंट लग रही थी, उनको लग रहा था ये समथिंग इज मतलब ये यूजुअल वाला कुछ अलग वार्निंग है, ये यूजुअल वाली वार्निंग नहीं है. तो अब he was, he was since he was an old man and he was worried about the villagers also and his family members also. It often happens that the attention of a person gazing fixedly at a particular spot or the object is suddenly diverted by the sense of something not knowingly. Now, आपके पास क्या होता है जब आप कुछ सोच रहे होते हो ना, आप देख तो सपोज एक स्पॉट पे रहे हो, सपोज आप टीवी ही देख रहे हैं, ठीक है, और बाद में आपको लगता है नहीं, you are not even getting what is going on in TV, but you're gazing at TV. Some thoughts are coming in your mind, random thoughts, ठीक है, and they are distracting you, but you're gazing at your eyes are on the TV, but your mind is elsewhere. You are distracted in your thoughts. You are having your attention elsewhere. ठीक है, तो इनके साथ भी यही हो रहा था. He was looking at the villagers where the merrymaking was going and the people were there celebrating, but there was some thoughts, random thoughts coming to him, right? By a mere vague feeling of the unfamiliar in that dim and outer circle of unconscious perception which lies beyond the field of clear vision. This is what I've told you. Like, it is beyond your clear vision. You are seeing at a thing, but your eyes might be there, but your attention is elsewhere. So there is no clear vision of what is going in your mind also. You're not able to figure out what you're looking at also. Thus, it chanced that Hamaguchi Gohei became aware of something unusual in the offing. He rose to his feet and looked at the sea. He rose to his feet, that is, he stood up and he looked at the sea. So he was looking that, at that place. It had darkened quite suddenly and it was acting strangely. It seemed to be moving against the wind. It was running away from the land. Now, if what was happening generally, yes, it happens that the waves, they come to the shore, they go back, but then again they come back, right? But this time he was seeing that the water was moving against the wind and the sea was just leaving the land. Sea was just leaving the land. Understood? The water was moving back. It was giving too much of land. It was giving away too much of land. So this was something strange. How can it happen that sea is just moving back, and it's not coming forward? So water was kind of contracting, receding. Within a very little time, the whole village had noticed the phenomena. Apparently, no one had felt the previous motion of the ground, but all were evidently astounded by the movement of the water. So now the people who were into that celebration, they also saw. उन लोगों ने भी देखा कि the sea is not behaving usually, and they were astounded. Astounded means they were shocked, they were startled by the movement of the water. They were running to the beach and even beyond the beach to watch it. Now, this is the mistake which most of the people try to, make. Now, this was क्योंकि unusual था. उनको लगा कि ये क्या हो रहा है? Why the sea is going ahead? So they thought that let's go and explore. होता है ना, हमारा भी मन करता है कुछ unusual हो रहा है तो जरा पास जाके देख लें. ये लोग भी they started running towards the beach, जहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा danger था. Because water was receding, तो उन्हें लगा कि लैंड छोड़ रही है सी, चलो लैंड की तरफ चल के देखते हैं what is happening. No such ebb had been witnessed on that coast within the memory of living man. Things were never seen before. वो making apparition means जो चीजें उन्होंने पहले कभी नहीं देखी थी वो आने लगी, क्योंकि पानी तो पीछे हो गया था, तो जितना वो सब हिडन था सी का, रॉक्स, पेबल्स जो भी थे, और तरह तरह के वीड्स जो भी था वो सब बाहर आ गया, उनको दिखने लगा. Unfamiliar spaces means these spaces or these places these people have never seen. वो सब उनको दिखने लगी थी. Of ribbed sand and reaches of weed hung rocks पर बहुत सारे वो पत्ते और वो सब आ जाता है ना, plantation growth भी होती है सी के नीचे. So they could even see those which were hidden for years they have never seen. So all these things were left open in front of them. Even as Hamaguchi gazed, this Hamaguchi was also looking at that all these unfamiliar things. And none of the people below appeared to guess what the monstrous ebb signified. All right. So nobody was able to guess that ye ho kya raha hai? What is it happening? Understood? All right. And none of the people below appeared to guess what the monstrous ebb signified. What is ebb? Ebb hota hai when the water is moving away from the land. It's giving away more land, the receding water. ठीक है? So this is when water is going back. Hamaguchi Gohei himself had never seen such a thing before, but he remembered things told to him in his childhood by his father's father, and he knew all the traditions of the coast. He understood what the sea was going to do. Perhaps he thought of the time needed to send a message to the village or to get the priests of the Buddhist temple on the hill to sound their big bell. But it would take very much longer to tell what he might have thought than it took him to think. He simply called to his grandson, Tara, quick, very quick, light me a torch. Now what happened? This Hamaguchi Goe was quite wise also. So what he saw was that he was looking at these unfamiliar things. So he thought कि अब या तो कैसे विलेज में मतलब गांव में जहाँ पे सब सेलिब्रेशन हो रहा था वहां पर मैसेज कैसे जल्दी से जल्दी भेजें, या एक मैसेज कहाँ जा सकता था, बुद्धिस्ट टेम्पल जो कि हिल पर था, सो दैट उनका प्रीस्ट बाहर निकलता और वो बड़ी वाली बेल, ही कुड टोल दैट बेल एंड दैट बेल कुड send a signal to the villagers that something has happened and they need to come back. All right, but it would take very much longer to tell what he might have thought than it took him to think. He simply called to his grandson, Tada, quick, very quick, light me a torch. So इसने सोचा कि यहाँ पे तो टाइम बहुत लग जाएगा इन दोनों चीज़ों में, ना हम विलेजर्स को बुला पाएंगे ना हम प्रीस्ट को कुछ कह पाएंगे कि बेल वेल बजाओ या समथिंग. सो इसने बोला अपने ग्रैंडसन से कि जल्दी से मुझे टॉर्च मशाल जला कर दो. Tamitsu or pine torches are kept in many coast dwellings for use on stormy nights and also for use at certain Shinto festivals. The child kindled a torch at once. Everyone, जैसे हमारे यहाँ सबके यहाँ दिए वगैरह होते हैं ना, तो इन लोग के यहाँ torches होती हैं which are used for which are made up of bamboo. वो फेस्टिविटीज के लिए भी काम आती हैं और आपकी जब आंधी तूफान में या रात में आपको जाना होता है, there you know many crawling in animals and dangers also. So to avoid that they have these torches. So this boy lit the torch quickly and the old man hurried with it to the fields where hundreds of rice stacks representing most of his invested capital stood awaiting transportation. That is, उसने मशाल ली बच्चे से और वो किधर भागा, जहां पर उसका पूरा राइस स्टॉक रखा था. इन्वेस्टेड कैपिटल मींस उसकी सारी जमा पूंजी रखी थी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ दोज राइस स्टैक्स, stood awaiting transportation. That is, उनकी बस इतना इंतजार हो रहा था कि उनको ट्रांसपोर्ट करना था to the market for selling. So it was all ready, ripe and ready. Just उसका कैश मिलना था उसको बेच के. Approaching those nearest the verge of the slope, he began to apply the torch to them, hurrying from one to another as quickly as his aged limbs could carry him. So he started lighting up the torch, lighting up those sacks with his torch one by one and quickly as quickly as he could do, because he was old and his legs were also old obviously. So he tried his best. This means the sun-dried stalks caught like tinder. The strengthening sea breeze blew the blaze landward and presently rang the stacks burst into flame. So that is the सन ड्राइड मीन्स दे वर क्वाइट ड्राई ना, उसको सुखाया जाता है धान वगैरह को, तो वो बिल्कुल सूखा था, ठीक है, उसमें आग बहुत जल्दी लग जाती, तो उस फटाफट से वो आग लाइक लगी, एंड ब्रीज भी चल रही थी, हवा भी चल रही थी, तो फटाफट से सब में फायर क्विकली स्प्रेड हो गई, rank by rank behind rank, the stacks burst into flames, sending skyward columns of smoke. अब जैसे सपोज करो यहाँ एक स्टैक है, यहाँ एक स्टैक है, यहाँ एक स्टैक है, ठीक है, ऑल दी स्टैक्स सपोज, अब यहाँ पे सपोज इन्होंने he has put them on fire, ठीक है, अब जब आग लगाई होगी तो सब में से सब धुआं धुआं निकला, और ये सब धुआं कलेक्ट होके एक बड़ा सा यहाँ पे इस तरह से बन गया, ठीक है, सो ऑल दिस स्मोक इट गैदर्ड, द स्मोक दैट मेट एंड मिंगल इनटू वन एनॉर्मस क्लाउडी वर्ल्ड, समझ गए, यहाँ से सब ये स्टैक में लगाया आग, ठीक है, राइस स्टैक में, एंड ये जो धुआं निकला वो एक वर्ल्ड, एक इस तरह से घूम घूम कर जो वो क्लाउड बनते हैं ना, उसी तरह से वो एक धुएं का वर्ल्ड बन गया, घेरा. All right. Tada, astonished and terrified, ran after his grandfather, crying, Ujsa, why? Ujsa, why? Why? So he kept on crying कि क्या कर रहे हैं आप, क्यों आग लगा रहे हैं सबको. But Hamaguchi did not answer. He had no time to explain. He was thinking only of the 400 lives in peril. So उसने कोई जवाब नहीं दिया अपने ग्रैंडसन को, उसने कहा इससे बात नहीं कर सकते हैं, बता नहीं सकते हैं, मुझे I have to save the lives of 400 villagers whose lives in peril means danger. For a while the child stared widely at the blazing rice, then burst into tears. The child who was looking at the burning rice stacks, he started crying कि क्या कर दिया इन्होंने. Then burst into tears and ran back to the house, feeling sure that his grandfather had gone mad. He could feel that something is wrong with the brain of his grandfather, because who puts the entire harvest, entire produce to fire which was ready for being sold? Then he threw down his... Hamaguchi went on firing stack after stack till he had reached the limit of his field. Then he threw down his torch and waited. The acolyte of the hill temple, observing the blaze, set the big bell booming, and the people responded to the double appeal. Now what happened? The acolyte is the priest. Understood? जब इन्होंने देखा कि आग लग रही है कहीं बहुत ज्यादा, तो what happened? He told the bell. And people responded to the double appeal. उन लोगों ने देखा आग जल रही है और उधर the priest was tolling the bell. So it was an amplified warning for them. ठीक है? Okay. Hamaguchi watched them hurrying in from the sands and over the beach and up from the village. पहले ही वो लोग बहुत ज्यादा बीच के करीब थे, जहाँ लैंड छोड़ दी थी पानी ने, वो पहले ही वहीं थे. पहले वो उससे बीच पर आए, प्रॉपर वाले बीच पे, फिर वो उसके घर की तरफ भागने लगे, बिकॉज उन्हें लगा कि दिस मैन एंड द हाउस इज इन डेंजर. Hamaguchi watched them hurrying in from the sands and over the beach and up from the village like a swarming of ants, and to his anxious eyes scarcely faster, for the moment seemed terribly long to him. वो खुद चाह रहा था कि लोग जल्दी से आ जाएं, तो वो उसको लग रहा था हर टाइम ना, जब आपको कुछ यू आर नो एंटिसिपेटिंग, या आपको लग रहा होता है कि कुछ यू आर वेटिंग कि समथिंग इज इन ट्रबल, और वो जल्दी से टाइम पास हो जाए, जल्दी से सब सेफ हो जाए, तो वो टाइम मोमेंट बहुत लंबा लंबा लगने लगता है. इट लुक्स टेरिबली लॉन्ग. So the sun was going down the wrinkled bed of the bay, and a vast sallow speckled expanse beyond it lay naked to the last orange glow, and still the sea was fleeting towards the horizon. Up, the sun was going down the wrinkled bed of the bay, and a vast sallow, that is the bay, the water which was going away, ठीक है, speckled expanse beyond it lay naked to the last orange glow. That is, you know, you've seen the dusk time, जब the day is meeting that night, that is the dusk time. तो उस समय orange orange हो जाता है sun भी, और sky is also of a different color. So this is that verbal presentation of that. You know, the sea was fleeting towards the horizon. That is वो उस horizon ऐसे होता है ना, देखो, suppose this part is land, okay, and this is water, this is all water, ठीक है. अब water is leaving this land, let's say this, समझ रहे हो, ये देखो, पहले यहाँ पे water water था, अब this water is leaving land, तो ये और पीछे पीछे हो रहा है towards the horizon. यहाँ पे कहीं sun डूब रहा होगा, तो ये ऐसा लग रहा है कि जैसे ये पानी जो है इस horizon से meet करने जा रहा है, leaving lot of land behind. So it was all strange. All right. Really, however, Hamaguchi did not have very long to wait before the first party of succor arrived. A score of agile young peasants who wanted to attack the fire at once, but the Choja, holding out both arms, stopped them. So, अब लोग आ गए आग वाग देख के और बेल वगैरह सुन के. Now what happened was that they just started to extinguish that fire. लोगों ने आग बुझाना शुरू किया, पर हामागुची दोनों हाथ ऐसे खोल के he tried to stop the people. He said that no need to extinguish fire, let everybody come. Let it burn, lads, he commanded. Let it be. I want the whole Mura here. That is the whole village here. There is a great danger. Tainda. The whole village was coming, and Hamaguchi counted. All the young men and boys were soon on the spot, and not a few of the more active women and girls. Then came most of the older folk and mothers with babies at their back. So this is how people were coming: men, older men, then women with the children. So this is how people were entering into his place. And even children, for children could help to pass water. Now even the children were there, they wanted to help to extinguish the fire, because they could help in passing the water, which would help to put that fire off. And the elders, too feeble to keep up with the first rush, could be seen well on their way up the steep ascent. The growing multitude, still knowing nothing, looked alternately in sorrowful wonder at the flaming fields and at the impassive face of their Choja, and the sun went down. So they could see the growing multitude means the number of villagers who were coming. They started coming like it in great number, and everyone gathered, and they were all in why what sorrowful wonder means, they were pained to see the wealth being destroyed of their respected villager like this, like it was completely being destroyed by fire. And that is why, and why wonder, because he was stopping the villagers, Choja or this Hamaguchi Goe, he was stopping the villagers from extinguishing that fire. So they were like awestruck, what's happening? At the flaming fields and the impassive face, impassive, he was not at all looking worried. This Hamaguchi was not at all looking worried that his field, or sorry, his crop is being destroyed like this. And the sun went down, that is, it was night time. Almost night. Grandfather is mad, I'm afraid of him, sobbed Tara in answer to a number of questions. He's mad. He set fire to the rice on purpose. I saw him do it. So Tada announced that, my grandfather has gone mad. He has himself put this entire crop on fire, and he said that I'm the witness to this activity. As for the rice, cried Hamaguchi, the child tells the truth. I set fire to the rice. Are all the people here? So he admitted that yes, put all this crop to fire myself, and he asked that everyone is here. The Kumicho and the heads of families looked about them and down the hill and made reply, all are here or very soon will be. We cannot understand this thing. Kita, shouted the old man at the top of his voice, pointing to the open. Say now if I be mad. So he was told that yes, everyone is here. Some are left, they're just about to reach, they're just on their way, they're very near, they're about to reach. He said, okay, now he was pointing at the to the open, and he was pointing basically towards the sea, and he said that now just see if I'm mad. He wanted to tell them the reason why he set his crop on fire. Through the twilight eastward, all looked and saw at the edge of the dusky horizon a long, lean, dim line like the shadowing of a coast, where no coast was ever, a line that thickened as they gazed, that broadened as a coastline broadens to the sky of one approaching it. So, when they saw it, this was a different coast which they were seeing. It was a dusky horizon, a long, lean, dim line like the shadowing of coast where no coast ever was. It was a new coast for them because it was a bigger one. There was too much of land. The sea has gone too much behind and it was not coming back. Otherwise, it happened that waves come and go, but this time it was not coming back. The sea has left a lot of land for it and lot of land, and it was which was very new to them. Broadened coastline, sorry, a line that thickened as they gaze, that broadened as a coastline broadens to the eyes of one approaching it. It was continuing to broaden, yet incomparably more quickly. It was like it was quick in action. It was the sea was moving quite fast. For that long darkness was the returning sea, towering like a cliff and coursing more swiftly than the kite flies. Now that it was returning now. When the receding has stopped and it took a form of huge wave and it was now returning. Understood? Like, and it was more swiftly than the kite flies. Kite here is a bird. Understood? It is a bird. So it was more swift than a bird's flight. All right. Tsunami shrieked the people, and then all shrieks and all sounds and all to hear sounds were annihilated by a nameless shock heavier than any thunder as the colossal swell smote the shore with a weight that sent a shudder through the hills and with a foam burst like a blaze of sheet lighting. So this is all what was happening. That is, it was a tsunami. Everybody shrieked, shouted with a shrill, shout with a shrill. And all sounds and all past to air sounds were annihilated, cancelled, destroyed by a nameless shock heavier than any thunder. It was a shock which was more loud than a thunder. It was immense as the colossal swell smote the shore. As the colossal swell smote the shore, colossal huge swell, it was just swelling, it was coming up, smote, struck the shore with a weight that sent shudder through the hills. Shudder means again that shaking of the hill. It sent a shock, it started shaking the hill, and with a foam burst like a blaze of sheet lighting. So it was lot of tremor. It was a big sound, and a huge wave was coming to destroy everything. Then for an instant nothing was visible but a storm of spray rushing up the slope like a cloud, and the people scattered back in panic from mere menace of it. So they could see what they could see. What they could see. See, there was an instant nothing was visible but a storm of spray rushing up the slope like a cloud. I'll show you the picture of tsunami and you can see what it was like. See, can you see? This is a huge wave which was building up there. See, it has left out this water, and imagine this is that place only. These people have gone near to this shore to explore why there is so much of land which is left by the wave. These people are fools. Let me tell you. If such thing is happening and you are near that shore, please avoid going to to this extent, because it is destructive. So you can imagine that this cloud like thing was happening, and it was a huge wave. It was now ready to engulf the entire valley where these villagers were there. Understood? Okay. And the people scattered back. Now people, they just started moving back in panic from the mere menace of it, from just that little activity of that forming of that, that huge wave. The people started moving back. When they looked again, they saw a white horror of sea raving over the place of their homes. It drew back, roaring and tearing out the bowels of the land as it went. Tearing out the bowels means पेट फाड़ देना ना. तो वो land को चीरते हुए the wave went in front. Twice, thrice, 5 times the sea struck and ebbed. The water start. ऐसा हुआ कि 2-3 बार ऐसा हुआ कि पहले पानी पीछे जा रहा है, फिर अगेन इट इज कमिंग बैक, फिर जा रहा है, अगेन इट इज कमिंग बैक. तो ये कितनी बार हुआ? ट्वाइस, थ्राइस, 5 टाइम्स जब हुआ, पर हर बार फिर अब धीरे 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 होता गया. इम्पैक्ट पहले बहुत ज्यादा था, दूसरी बार कम हुआ, तीसरी बार कम हुआ, 4th टाइम कम हुआ, 5th टाइम और कम हो गया. सो अब धीरे धीरे उसके इम्पैक्ट कम होते गए, पर इट वॉज देयर. Then it returned to its ancient bed and stayed. अब वो वापस, अब ancient bed means उसका पुराना old वाला शोर था जहां तक सी रहती थी, वो वहां तक आया और रुका रहा. Still raging as after a typhoon, but it was not silent. ऐसा नहीं था कि वो बड़ी शांत सी हो गई थी. वो raging means it was in anger. It was showing its anger then also. All right. On the plateau for a time there was no word spoken. All stared speechlessly at the desolation beneath, the ghastliness of the hurled rock and naked riven cliff, the bewilderment of scooped up deep sea wrack and shingle shot over the empty site of dwelling and temple. The village was not, the greater part of the fields were not, even the terraces had ceased to exist, and of all the homes that had been about the bay there remained nothing. So here it is talking about the description of what all had happened. Now ever the ghastliness. Okay. On or the plateau for a time there was no word spoken. All stared speechlessly at the desolation beneath, the ghastliness of the hurled rock. So it is something very unpleasant. Okay, something very unpleasant of hurled rock and naked river cliff, the bewilderment of scooped up deep sea. Bewilderment is the confusion, when you are confused, what has happened. Of scooped up deep sea wrack. So it is kind of a wild grass which is under the sea, which is used as manure for in many places. So it's rich. And shingle shot over the empty side. Shingle means the small pebbles, the small stones. अब ये सब पड़ा हुआ था पूरे बीच पे, ठीक है? Over the empty site of dwelling and temple. यहाँ तक सब आ गया था ये. Stones, घास वगैरह, जितना वो सी में जो होता है अंदर, मे बी सम प्लांट एनिमल के जो रिमेन्स होते हैं वो भी. The village was not, the greater part of the fields, the village was not, the greater part of the fields were not, even the terraces had ceased to exist. That is, the village has also, like, it was a completely different thing. The one which was before, it was a completely different geography there. The fields were not, that is, fields were also destroyed. Even the terraces had ceased. So it has destroyed the terrace also. It has destroyed, like it must have washed off everything. Ceased to exist, and of all the homes that had been about the bay, there remained nothing recognizable except two straw roofs tossing madly in the offing. So it is, everything was destroyed, even the fields, the houses, even the steps were washed out on which there was the terrace farming. So nothing was there, only two uh, thatched roofs were there, which were like, which was uh, swinging, right? The after terror of the death escaped, and the stupefaction of the general loss kept all lips dumb, until the voice of Hamagachi was heard again, observing gently, "That was why I set fire to the rice." So now, after terror of the death escaped, the stupefaction of the general loss, everybody was now startled कि ये हुआ क्या, and we are now saved. So they were kind of, there was astonishment, there was little, they were shocked, surprised of the general loss kept all lips dumb, until the voice of Amaguchi was heard again, observing gently, "That was why I set the fire to rise." So everyone was thinking, अब इतने बड़ा शॉक लगा उनको, तो they must be thinking, पहली बात तो कोई बोल नहीं रहा था, तो उनको ये लग रहा था कि अगर ये नहीं बचाते हमको, तो ये हम तो अभी बिल्कुल वहीं थे, वहीं रहते, अभी सब एंजॉय कर रहे होते, और इवन हम तो सी के बिल्कुल पास आके देख रहे थे कि हुआ क्या है, व्हाई द सी इज बिहेविंग स्ट्रेंजली, वी वर एक्सप्लोरिंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स। तो हम तो बिल्कुल फिनिश हो गए थे, इतनी बड़ी बड़ी हिल्स वैलीज नहीं छोड़ी हैं इतने बड़े सुनामी ने, तो व्हाट इज ह्यूमन इन फ्रंट ऑफ इट। सो ही सेड, नाउ तुम्हें समझ में आया कि व्हाई आई सेट माय फायर टू द राइस। सो नाउ दे वर, हे he, their Choja, was now stood among them, almost as poor as the poorest, for his wealth was gone, but he had saved 400 lives by the sacrifice. So he has not at all thought, even for a second, that he was destroying his entire wealth. Now he became like the poor farmers of his village, and but he was very much satisfied that he was able to save the 400 lives of his villagers. Little Tada ran to him and caught his hand and asked forgiveness for having for having said naughty things. Now, Tada was really, he was feeling bad, that he was thinking that his grandfather has gone crazy. So he was feeling sorry and asked for forgiveness. Whereupon the people woke up to the knowledge of why they were alive and began to wonder at the simple, unselfish foresight that had saved them. And the headmen prostrated themselves in the dust before Hamaguchi Goe and the people after them. So prostrated means they lie, दंडवत प्रणाम करना, उसके बिल्कुल पैरों में गिर गए और बोले कि इन्होंने हमें बचाया है, इन्होंने बिल्कुल नहीं सोचा कि what is he doing is destroying his wealth, and it was very, or you can say it was an extremely wise decision, and it was quick decision of this old man to set fire to his rice crop and send a signal or a warning signal to the people so that they can come back and save their life. Then the old man wept a little, partly because he was happy and partly because he was aged and weak and had been sorely tired. So he cried because of all these reasons, because he must be tired, weak, out of his ill health. "My house remains," he said, as soon as he could find words, automatically caressing Tada's brown cheek. So he, by, just patting or caressing, touching lightly with love his grandson's cheek, he said that my house is left. So after, getting that himself back from that overwhelming emotion, and there is room for many. Also, the temple on the hill stands, and there is shelter there for the others. Then he led the way to his house, and the people cried and shouted. So he said that he even opened his house for the villagers. He said that, since their house was destroyed, so he said that you can take shelter in my house, and some can take shelter in the temple. So you all are more than welcome. He opened his house with more than welcoming smile, and everyone was like thankful to him. The period of distress was long because in those days there were no means of quick communication between district and district, and the help needed had to be sent from far away. So there was the nowadays what happens is that news spreads quickly and there are helicopters and the infrastructure and facilities have increased, no, technology have increased, so the help pours on from all the sides. But these days communication was not that strong or quick, and so help used to take a lot of time to reach to the affected place. Similarly, these people were facing that difficulty. But when better times came, the people did not forget their debt to Hamaguchi Goe. They could not make him rich, nor would he have suffered them to do so. Even had it been possible, moreover, gifts could never have sufficed to an expression of their reverential feeling towards him. So now the people, when they have gone to their the usual life, और थोड़ा सा ठीक हो गया होगा टाइम, तो उन्हें वो भूले नहीं उसको, उन्होंने बिल्कुल उस चीज को नहीं भुलाया कि दे आर लिविंग जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ हैमागुची गोए. सो अब वो उसको रिच तो नहीं बना सकते थे, उस जैसे पहला वेल्दी वो था वो तो वो नहीं कर पाते, खुद ही पुअर थे और इतना उन्होंने नेचुरल डिजास्टर भी झेला था, तो इट वाज नॉट पॉसिबल. बट वो जो कुछ हो रहा था ना, वो उनके लिए भगवान जैसा बन गया था, और छोटे छोटे गिफ्ट्स लेकर उसके लिए उसके पास आते थे, नॉट टू not to nullify or not to cancel out that effort of Hamaguchi Goe, just to make him feel more respected, like, or to place him on the same parameter as of God. For they believed that ghost within him was divine, so they declared him a god and thereafter called him Hamaguchi Demyojin, thinking they could give him no greater honor. So, what greater honor one can give to a living person? He can be declared God, a temple can be constructed. So, this is the honor which he got. And truly, no greater honor in any country could be given to a mortal man. And when they rebuilt the village, they built a temple to the spirit of him and fixed above the front of it a tablet bearing his name in Chinese text of gold, and they worshipped him there with prayer and with offerings. So they built a temple when he was living just in that particular place, bearing his name in Chinese text of gold. And they worshipped him there with prayer and with offering. Like, we go to the temple, we offer our prayers and we offer prasad and everything, or whatever we take, no, even flowers. So they started doing this. How he felt about it, I cannot say. I know only that he continued to live in his old thatched home upon the hill with his children and his children's children, just as humanly and simply as before, while his soul was being worshipped in the shrine below. So he was, he's saying, the author is saying, he doesn't know what feeling could he be having when he was being worshipped, when he was still alive. He didn't leave his simplicity. He was as humble as before this episode of being revered as God. And he continued to live with his family like before. 100 years and more, and he has been dead. But his temple, they tell me, still stands, and the people still pray to the ghost of the good old farmer to help them in the time of fear or trouble. So, even after 100 years of his death, the temple stood there. People were still worshipping him. When they weren't in trouble or in times of need, they could go and, pray and ask for his help and blessings. I asked a Japanese philosopher and friend to explain to me how the peasants could rationally imagine the spirit of Hamaguchi in one place while his living body was in another. I also inquired whether it was only one of his souls which they had worshipped during his life, and whether they imagined that the particular soul to have detached itself from the rest to receive homage. Now, this is, in this paragraph, he's saying that I asked people that how were you worshipping? One person is still there, alive, and you're worshipping him there in the temple in the form of an idol. How can you do this? How can the spirit of a living come there and help you? So he says that it is all mind thing, mental thing. Like, even if you are not at particular place, but your thoughts can reach, no. So suppose I'm here and I'm blessing you all that may all my students do extremely well in their exam. My blessings are reaching you. Similarly, the spirit or that goodness of Hamaguchi Goe must have been helping people when he was alive and even after his death. So this is like that. Okay. The peasants, my friend, answer think of the mind or the spirit of a reason of a person as something which even during the life can be in many places at the same time. In my or this is like we can travel in our mind anywhere. So this is like that. Such an idea is of course quite different from the Western ideas about the soul. It is the Japanese idea of soul, but Western ideas have different uh, different viewpoint. Well, he responded with the Buddha smile. If we accept the doctrine of the unity of all the mind, the idea of the Japanese peasant would appear to contain at least some adumberation of truth. I could not say so much for your Western notions about the soul. So he responded with a Buddhist smile that if we accept the doctrine of the unity of all the mind, the idea of the Japanese peasant would appear to contain at least sub-adumberation. So he's saying that if you believe in this Buddhist principle and or this Buddhist ideology, you can see that there is some the sorry the idea of the Japanese peasant would appear to contain at least some adumberation. That vague idea, that adumberation is that little idea of truth, that yes it happens, because if we also feel that our mind can also travel to different places at being at one place, but we can go to 5 or 6 or even more places. So it is like this. So I could not say so much for you Western notions about the soul. So he says that I could not say so much for your Western notions about the soul. So he's saying that I don't know what Western ideologies they take it like that, but for as for Japanese, it is such that that mind and spirit can travel uh, at different places when the body is there, or even after death the spirits, they can be and at any places to bless or to be to curse or whatever, right? So it is a kind of soul or the spirit or that healthy blessings which can pass through pass over through different places. So I hope the lesson is clear to you. If you have any problem, please feel free to ask me in the comment box. I'll be happy to help you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.